Well, hello there, and this is Auntie. And child, we are here for part two of my review of Married at First Sight, Ikechi, and Emem. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for hitting that subscribe button. And to all of my nieces and nephews and my members who have been here with me for the long haul. Thank you all so much for your continued support. So I'm going to get into this as I get into this. If you are looking for the full review of Married at First Sight, excluding Ikechi and MM, please make sure that you hit that playlist and let the videos just run. I asked my folk, was they ready? Were they ready to talk about this couple? And they said, yeah. So let's do it. Viewer discretion is advised. I curse. Okay. If you can't handle it, exit now because I curse. So if you stayed, you want to hear it. Let's get into it. Now, we have been watching Emem and Ikechi for the last couple of weeks. And there's been a lot going on in the relationship. Last week we watched as Ikechi moved out of the apartment with Emem. And we were like, okay, good. Emem stood in the bathroom when she was having a sister girls conversation with Camille and said that he wanted someone that was lower than him. Thank you, Sugar 48. And Sugar 48 said, Auntie, be you. She stood in that bathroom with her sister girl and diagnosed the situation with Ikechi. Icky, ya, sassy joker, Mr. Sassy. She said he wanted someone who was of a lower caliber, someone who was stupid. I'm educated. I got all my shit together. All my motherfucking ducks are in a row. The only thing that I don't have is what Instagram, TikTok, and all other social media say is my man, my man, my man. When I first met I picked that social media bullshit up. Let me tell you something. Social media is what you make it. It is not what it is. You can pick up that camera and show yourself in the best light, happy in a relationship, and you living in hell. So for her, when I first met her and she was going on with that my man, my man, my man bullshit, I was like, okay, I'm going to keep my third eye on her. Now, we have watched as she has been disrespected, humiliated by this man on national television. He has made some very defamatory remarks about this woman that could ruin her career by her own fucking admission. And yet we see she wants my man, my man, my man. Ikechi belongs to me. He's my husband. That's fact. Okay. That's fact on paperwork. That's like you making a social media post with your wedding pictures on it saying you married when all of us know you got a fucked up relationship with your husband, a man who don't care anything about you, a man who will call you an asshole. But okay. So in this episode, we see Dr. Calvin, the fuck, saying that he has to have a conversation with Ikechi. He says what's going on is not adding up with him. The behavior around the 1 month anniversary. So I thought it was necessary to meet with him one-on-one, man to man, so we could find out what is on his mind and why is he self-sabotaging his relationship. So he sits down with him and he's like, I just want to be straight up. No BS. Let's just talk. Let's talk about you moving out. Ikechi said, I ain't happy in my home. How long has this been going on? He said at the honeymoon. He's right. That's exactly when it started. Because if we remember, can y'all hear me? Is my mic up right? Does my mic sound nice? Check one. Does my mic sound nice? Check two. That's exactly when we saw the cracks. That's exactly when I said that she was sitting up there faking the funk. He never took her nowhere. They never did any activities. The only time they did something was at that damn room, eating in the rain. When she went to had the little honey parts in her mouth, he was fucking turned off. He turned his back to her and called her mama. One for Ikechi. Let me do some little. Let me do some. Let me do some tallies. So I'm gonna put Ikechi. He got one tally. Emem, none. He told Dr. Calvin that this started off at the honeymoon. He is absolutely correct. We saw the cracks in the relationship. We saw them sitting around everybody, faking the funk. Like it was everything was going on. And I told y'all, go back. I'm going to make sure I have a playlist so you can go back and see that I done already said this stuff. That they was faking the funk. He did not like her. He didn't like that weave. And something was going on. When she tried to talk, tried to snuggle with him, tried to spoon him, he didn't want the spooning. But she spooned him anyway. One check for Icky telling the truth. He said it was going on as soon as the honeymoon. It started off with her trying to initiate sex. One for MM. He initiated it when he put her hand on it, on his man, on his innards. That would be a lie. Because if we on the van, on the airplane, on the train, bitch, on a bicycle, and you take my hand and put my hand on you, or my hand on your innards, you initiated sex. One for Icky, one for MM. I let her know that, hey, I'm not there yet. She came in for a husband, but I don't think it would have mattered who the fuck it was. That's how I feel. Dr. Calvin said, yeah, that may be how you feel. And I hear you. But when I matched you for a certain reason. That's why she's attracted to you. He said, I know. But 2 days into the honeymoon, She asked me to get in the shower with her. And Dr. Calvin kind of made a face like that shouldn't be no problem. But if it was a female cast member, see, here we go now with the stereotypes of what men should and should not expect. If it was a woman and the man that she was dating or married to at first sight, 2 days into the honeymoon, asked her to get in the shower and she wasn't ready, would Dr. Calvin had that same look on his face? Hell no. But for a man, oh man, what? A woman want to get in the shower? What you man? Go on in, get in the shower. I'm just putting it out there. He said 4 days into the honeymoon or a week into the honeymoon, would you move in with me after this? She asked him to move in with him. She know he in the motherfucking Airbnb. She know he moving around in his suitcase and his backpack. She knows that she's above him. She knows she got more than him. She knows he's just starting off. She knows. Those women like myself, we know when a man ain't got what we got. And the first thing we be thinking, or I be thinking, oh, that motherfucker think he gonna move up. He gonna move up in my house. No. So we know as women when we are unequally financially yoked with somebody. What is this on my forehead? Those freckles? Yeah. Yes, I have freckles. Now, Dr. Calvin said, well, that's what couples should do. This is not an experiment that you get into that is just temporary or you use your other place as a place of refuge. We need couples that come in and they say, I don't care who I'm married to, I'm going to move in. Okay. Then why don't you have them move in and pick a house instead of providing temporary facilities? See, that's a loophole that they created. Let them decide who house they're going to live in. That's more realistic. Not this bullshit with everybody sharing an apartment building. So this is why the people are using the loophole, because you provided the loophole. If you want this to be as realistic, then they should be moving in somebody's fucking house. I'm just saying. It shouldn't be decision day. So he said they encourage the people to do this and all of this okay thing. They, in for the long haul and all of that kind of stuff. He said this is what happens with the successful couples. You have unsuccessful couples that do the same thing that should be fucked up. Because there's no aftercare. He said, you need to want to move in with her. He said, I got to like her first. He said, well, what is it that you don't like about her? He said, her personality. He said, tell me more. He said, you don't know how many times she has made me feel small. Nobody can make you feel small but you. Feeling small is a verb. That's an action that you have to take. Can't nobody make you feel no way. But there is a way to talk down to people, to attempt to make them feel small. You got to be able to walk in that. I've had people all my life trying to make me feel small for whatever reason it was. If I walked away feeling small, I chose that. Voluntarily or involuntarily, I have to choose to pick up your thoughts about me. I have to choose to allow your words. I have to choose to allow myself to be measured or measure myself by what you have. And when he saw her apartment, he measured himself by what he did not have against what she did have, even down to the fucking karaoke machine. Even down to the karaoke machine. Do y'all remember when he went in her house and he said, "Oh, you got the big karaoke machine. Oh, you got it upstairs. Oh, how many TVs do you have?" The more he looked, the smaller he felt. But he is deflecting and saying she made him feel small. Now, we can say that the questions that she asked him, in the tone that she asked him those things in, is making him feel small, because a person can frustrate you. But if you're already starting off with insecurities and mama issues, as I said last week, it don't take nothing for you to adopt that mindset about yourself. Don't count my fucking coins. Because as I said last week, you don't know what I did, bitch, to get it. I always say when everybody else is sleeping, Auntie's working. That's why y'all don't be seeing me. He said, "I don't like her attitude." Dr. Calvin said, "Tell me more." He said, "You don't know how many times she made me feel small, like I don't have enough." Count coins. Dr. Calvin said, "Tell me more. That ain't enough." He says, "Just how she acts. I don't feel like a partner. I just feel like I'm an extra in the dream that is hers." I believe him when he said that. And the reason why I believe him that she has a dream is because she came in there with that Instagram, social media bullshit. My man, my man, my man. Even when she sat with Dr. Pia later on, she was like, I want to see my husband. So it doesn't make a difference how the fuck he treats her. It doesn't make a difference what she knows to be true about him. He's her husband, and therefore he's her property. She has a right to him. When he texts her, he must respond back, because she will tell you quick, "I've been calling Kim, I've been texting him, I've been doing this and that, and he don't answer." Bitch, let it go. Didn't you just sit your ass up in the bathroom and say that you wasn't the one? Didn't you just sit up there with Dr. Pia afterwards and tell Dr. Pia he's not ready? Didn't you sit your lying ass up there and say, if he don't apologize and have any kind of effort, I'm done? You see him as property. You see yourself, as Ikechi said, he's part of your fucking plan. I wanted to be married. This is what y'all. This is what she keep repeating. I wanted to be married. You don't give a goddamn if you happily married or not. You just fucking want to be married. This man ain't been a husband to her from day A. He's been someone she's married, but he's not a husband. He ain't been one. What you saying, Miss Honey? Don't forget, Emem is very determined and not a quitter. Plus, in her family's culture, arranged marriages are common, and you must make it work. Thank you, Miss Honey. Let me spotlight that. Hold on, let me get my other mouse. Boo. So when he goes and he says it doesn't make a difference who the fuck showed up, and I am just a small thing in her plan, one for Ikechi. He was right, in my opinion. She don't give a fuck how he treat her. She don't care how it is. I want to see my husband. Do y'all remember the Instagram thing? I am going to see my husband. I am going to see my husband. Get the fuck off social media. Because real life has sparked up. And did she get sassy with Dr. Pia? Yes, she did, because he's her husband. Let's keep going. We're going to, what mics? Okay. He said, so she just pulled you into it and she wants you to basically follow her lead. He said, right. And on top of that, to be belittled, looked at, I don't see no love in the house. I don't see friendship. He said, so it's no respect. He said, I see no respect. I believe him. Because how can Emem respect him when he don't respect her? How can Emem have friendship with him when the motherfucker can't answer a question? When she can't dialogue, when she just got to let him be? Why the fuck didn't he marry Carla? So both of them can just be and zone out, doom, and burn sage. He's not with that kind of woman. So while what he said was true, you can also say, how in the world is she supposed to act? What is she supposed to do? Answer a question, bitch. He said, I have never disrespected her at all. Bitch, when he said that, I almost fell out. You disrespected her in front of her cousins at the housewarming party. You disrespected her on the honeymoon by making her to agree to a facade. And then you sat there and called her an asshole. You ignore her phone calls. You have an obligation for a housewarming party and your bitch ass say you're not coming. You haven't contributed to a date, to a meal, to anything. See, disrespect come in all kinds of forms. Icky, yicky, yay, yay, sassy, Mr. Sassy. You disrespected her by not being a partner, by not showing up. Show up. The housewarming party, he contributed nothing, not even to the decorations. He didn't even know the motherfucking thing. He been living off of her money, in my opinion. And probably the food stipend that they give his ass. And he got the audacity to sit there and say he didn't disrespect her when he called her an asshole and embarrassed her at the table in front of all of her castmates. And Dr. Calvin challenged him and said, didn't you call her an asshole? Well, if you act like an asshole, I'm going to call you an asshole. Well, just like she said you look like a joker and she called you a joker. It's par for the course, bitch. Touche. Touche up in this motherfucker. Touche. They've been disrespecting each other. She's offended. He's offended. She's intelligent. He's intelligent. But she's going to win in her own way. But I see Emem too. As I said in my previous video, I am a critical thinker. I critically think. I listen to the words that people say. Just like last week when I went out here and did the review and I broke down his vows. He never promised or committed to do anything for Emem. Emem, having have read the vows, is under the understanding now that he never promised to love her. He never promised to be faithful to her. He never promised to be a husband to her. He said a motherfucking prayer out of his book. Emem is fully aware that there is no commitment in this relationship from him. He promised her nothing. Therefore, he owes her nothing. She can't say that there's one thing that he said in his vows that he owes her, because he ain't promised her shit. She's intelligent. She's critical thinking. She's a businesswoman. She has a master's degree. So she understands now that she don't have nothing. But she sits up in Dr. P's face and say, I want to see my husband. The fuck? So you want to be in a relationship. You want everybody on the outside to see that you got a man, my man. But you miserable and ain't got nothing. Would that make her a pick-me-sha? I just wanted to be picked. Come on, Mouse. He said, I understand that you said in front of the group. Why you lose your spot? You said you was going to break this down. That my wife treats me like shit. He said, well, maybe I shouldn't have said it in front of everybody. But at the same time, like the way she made me feel at that moment, she didn't make you feel any kind of way. You came in there feeling like that. She didn't make you feel any kind of way. She looked at you like the clown that you are, but she didn't make you feel any kind of way. Just like you can't make her feel, she can't make you feel small. Bitch. He said, but at the same time, I didn't care. I didn't give a damn. He said, so you lost your value in her. He never valued her. He never valued her. He never valued her. When she showed up, before she showed up, his vows showed he never valued her. If y'all have not watched that review, you got to watch that review. He valued his book. He valued his earning potential. Icky is a boil on the ass of mankind. Emem just wants a man by any means necessary. Absolutely, Sugar 48. Thank you so much, Boo, for the 1999 super chat. Thank you so much. You did not have to do it, but you did. He said, so you didn't value her. He said, at the beginning, I thought she was a dope person. And I thought she had great qualities. But the more I started to see her ass, the real version of who she was, he said, well, Dr. Calvin said, well, she is ambitious in her pursuit of this marriage. And I'm not going to say she hasn't been overly ambitious. There's some that they know that Emem has done that they are not telling us. For Dr. Calvin to make this thing, y'all, this is why I be breaking this down. Share my video so other people can see the content. Because we keeps it a $100 over here. For Dr. Calvin to say, I cannot say she hasn't been overly ambitious. Something they know that they're not releasing about Emem. Even Dr. P says she needs to see how she's coming off. There is something there. There's something in the milk that's not clean with MM. In my opinion. Something went down that they are trying to support him in. They're trying to show him support. Who is MM? He said, but there's also a sensitive side. He said, have you seen it? He said, I've been seeing glimpses of it. That's all though. He said, if you are able to see noticeable changes, would there be any latitude to sort of reboot? He said, perhaps. He said, I want you to communicate and get a resolution, whatever that looks like. But she needs to know what your perception is and how she's coming across. And she needs to know your perception and how she's coming across. Y'all got to be completely open and truthful. But that means you got to be vulnerable. And those are hard, and that's hard and tough. And he said, I'm seeing some emotion behind your eyes. He said, that's allergies. He said, don't bullshit me. He said, okay, Pastor. He said, don't gaslight me. Don't play in my face. Don't play on my top. We're going to resolve this. He said, it's easier to have this conversation with you than it is with her. I believe that. MM goes to meet with Dr. Pia. Dr. P is like, I be getting the deeds. I be getting the tea on how y'all acting. She said, let me ask you a question, MM. MM has a master's degree and is in business by herself. She's a very intelligent woman. She's sitting across the table talking to an equally intelligent woman. And I want y'all to keep that in mind as we go through this. I don't know why them cash apps ain't coming. Y'all know I'm going to the detail. Cash at them super chats. With them super chats. Okay. All right. Y'all ain't got it. Y'all ain't got it. I'm just kidding. Okay, so she says two intelligent women. Not to ignore two intelligent black sister girls. Now, y'all know, as sisters, we talk differently. It just is what it is. I need y'all to keep that in mind. Ain't neither one of them stupid. She says, I'm wondering what you think is happening. Y'all know how we do our girlfriends. Girlfriend, what do you think? What's happening? You know what MM said? He ain't ready. He wasn't ready for this. And I don't feel like he put forth a whole lot of effort. From day one, my focus has been in marriage. And he left and walked out. I text multiple times and he doesn't respond. Well, after I called him, what the fuck are you calling him for? Ownership. I always look at this and I think about how this would be if it was a woman. They would be telling him to stand down, leave her alone. Let her come to herself. But no, not MM. Because we got to remember that this is MM's husband. And for MM, she sees this totally different. Remember, she has a different cultural background than we do. MM comes from a family of individuals who get married through arranged marriages. So for MM, it don't make a difference what the fuck. That's my husband. He does not respond nor answer when I call him multiple times. She said, "Have you haven't seen him since that day?" She said, "I haven't seen him since he left." But I definitely want to see my husband. It was the way she said it that took me back like, I want to see my property. Unpopular opinion. He's still my husband. And I want to see him. Get that mother together. I still want to see my husband. Can you imagine a man? And I'm going to keep comparing and contrasting. Can you imagine a man who has done this that Ikechi has done, and it was vice versa, and he was and she left? They will be telling him to stand down. I'm sorry, what? This man sitting up there and did all of this and all of this stuff that went down, and he's sitting up there saying, "I want to see my wife." Oh, we will be feeling some kind of a way. That's just my opinion. Thank you so much, Miss Benz 362 for the 1999 super chat. This is Auntie. You tell it like it is, and I am here for it. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Benz, because sometimes I be feeling like people are throwing rocks. Thank you. I needed that reassurance. Thank you, Miss Benz. I want to see my husband. Why? Because I think that that will give me a chance to actually talk to him. Bitch, he ain't been talking to you. He ain't been answering questions. He ain't talked to your cousin. He ain't talked to your girlfriend. He ain't been talking. Remember what you said in the bathroom? He wants a dumb girl that he can play on her top, and that's not you. You're a professional. You know goddamn well this man ain't been talking to you. He treats you like that'll give me a chance to talk to him, and having you guys there to communicate and make sure it stays healthy is very important. She said, "Are there any concerns on how to make sure?" She said, "Yeah, I'm concerned about that. He gonna be dismissive, nonchalant, and just not interested in the marriage." Didn't you say at the top of the conversation with Dr. Pia that he wasn't ready? Why would he be interested in something he ain't ready for? You know what the fuck is going on. And it is just embarrassing as a sister to see you bend down so low and be in such desperation for a man who don't want your ass. It is shocking and appalling to see a woman who already has this figured out, who is always already echoing everything that we have said week after week, seeing this. And now you saying, I want to see my husband. Okay. I need y'all to talk and communicate so I can finally talk to him. But then you sit in the room and you don't say shit. You didn't defend yourself in that room that one time. You bowed down and you pussy popped. And you licked his ass and told him to move back in with you. How fucking embarrassing. I'm starting to believe that when Emem said it didn't make a difference who you matched her with, they was going to be her husband, her husband, her husband. And I know y'all throwing bricks at me. I know y'all like, okay, Auntie, what? But Auntie gonna tell her like it is out this mother. That's what I'ma do. Thank you so much, Ashley J, for the $4.99 super chat. Emem chasing this man who don't want her is a sad look, but love you, Auntie. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, boo. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, SD21, for the $5 super chat. I was ready to write Emem off after the episode. She was so nasty to Dr. Pia and too desperate. It was nerve-wracking. She was better on the after party. We'll talk about that at enough time. I got a long weekend. Thank you, ladies. She said, I'm interested. You did everything in your power, Emem, to be nice. As he's treated you poorly, he's called you out your name. He's made inflammatory comments. Why do you still want to be with him? Isn't that the question all of us is asking? Isn't that the question that we all have on our minds? Ain't you asking the person that's sitting in the room with you looking at me? Aren't you asking your goddamn self? Why the fuck, after what happened in the bathroom in downtown to the restaurant in the weeks before, why hasn't that affected her? Why does she still want to be with him? You know what she had the audacity to say? Because I think there's a chance that he has not realized that these are defense mechanisms. For him, because that could explain a lot. Dr. Pierce said, you hit it right on the head. So again, why you want to be with him? Because that would have been my next question to my girlfriend. So, okay. So knowing all that, so why do you want to be with them? Help me understand, sis. Because this just looked like pure desperation to me. And don't tell me that you a bitch that sticks to the program. Don't tell me that you one of them girls that I don't give up. I fight for my Don't tell me that. What is it that's in you that's broken? That you would allow yourself to be utterly disrespected and have inflammatory comments made. You get this man treating you poorly. He walk out on your ass, doesn't call you back. Don't tell me no BS answer like this, because this is a defense mechanism. What? She said, "Well, you know what? You could lead a horse to something sweet rather than something." Emem is broken, just as broken as Ikechi. Emem is grieving the death of her father. Emem is looking for somebody to come in there and be that. But you got one father and one mother. You got one chance, period. And many people grow up in this life and don't have that. Emem is broken from the loss of her father. And she is seeking that fatherly type of love from Ikechi, and he can't do it. Emem need to back up from the table and stop asking all these questions. But she is the type of woman that's like me that is hard to do because you don't want nobody playing on your top. But once you realize and you see a person for who they are, you back the fuck up. That's self-preservation. You got a right to preserve yourself for your own sanity. But this is her husband, i.e., in my opinion, her property. He owe her. Don't nobody owe you nothing. Husband or no husband. That's why people get divorced. Because people don't fulfill their end of the deal. Y'all didn't have a deal because he never made one with you. He never made a deal. He read your ass a poem. And then you, she said, you disrespected him. She talked about the suit incident. She said this, she did, get on, funky with him. And she said, where do you think you were accountable? Now Dr. P is putting it on her. Where do you think that you were accountable for things taking a turn? She said at the housewarming party when he called me aggressive. So I became passive aggressive. He want to call me aggressive. Now I'm going to be passive with it. Come on, y'all. We see it. After he did that, pulled that stunt at the housewarming party, and then got in front of Dr. P and said that she was not respecting him and his body and his ability to say no. Emem is smart enough to make him look bad too. Come on, y'all. So now they titting for tatting. She was ready to get on that bus, on the party bus, and tell them about Ikechi. Because he had frustrated her and flustered her because she had been texting him for 2 days and he ain't had no response. Bitch, he'd have had 2 text messages to miss. And then he wouldn't have to worry about me calling him no goddamn more. And once he walked out the house, I would have told Dr. Calvin, Dr. Pierre, and Dr. Pepper, and all the rest of them, Dr. Pepper, and Coke, Pepsi, and some motion. No, I ain't got it to do. I'm out. Matter of fact, when he made the inflammatory comments, that would have been it for me. You ain't gonna sit up here and fuck up my career. But she's desperate acting, in my opinion. But let's keep on. She said his answers. Wait a minute, hold on. She said at the housewoman, he said that I am very pressing because I do press him. Run for Ikechi. I do press him because he say stupid shit. So I do press him. He's my husband. Don't forget, every time you say something about her, make sure you follow it up with because he's my husband. I don't like no fluff. I'm a direct person. She don't want no fluff. I tell you exactly what's going on. And hearing someone you just got married to who referred to as my husband say I was aggressive, it's just we don't know each other. But you don't call your wife aggressive. If you being aggressive, you get called aggressive. Emem, by her own admission, said that they had made a pact with each other that they was going to go out in the street and make everything look good. But didn't we say, y'all, here on Auntie's advice, didn't we say, y'all, that we knew that that was a facade? We knew that. She said, oh, you calling him your husband? She said, he's my husband because that's a fact. And he need to act like it's a fact. He is my husband. Dr. P said, but damn, you spicy. When you talk about my husband, you spicy as shit. Y'all see where I'm going? She said, it's a fact. She said, I got enough spice. I said that's a fact. But it was her body language. She said, I wonder if you like that with him. You goddamn right she is. You think that she don't know that she got more than him? Y'all know how we are. We'll talk to you like a piece of on a stick. Y'all know how we are when we think we better. No, not when we think, when we know we're better. Can we be sassy and spicy? We'll let you know quick. I know I will. I will let you know quick. But you got to really push me. But if you push me, bitch, you'll find out just how much I admire myself, just how much self-confidence I got in myself. I will shut your down. And if I really think I'm above you, I will ignore the dog out you. Everything you do, every pluck you try to pluck, everything you try to drop, I will act like you never existed. We have our way. I'm not saying that Emem is doing it. I'm saying in that moment, Emem let her know that's my husband, whether he like it or not. She said, instead of leading with facts, lead with your feelings. Oh, she is. So you got to get to a place where you say, damn, I messed up. Or shoot, that wasn't okay. But that puts him on defense and it shuts him down. She said, I don't want you to feel like you got to alter who you are because of someone, because, wait a minute, because who you are is not someone who asks questions. Who you are is someone who cares. Who you are is someone who's passionate. Yeah, and you can show that in a different way and give you an example. Then she gave her an example about this bullshit with her fiance. Bitch, y'all know each other. Shut the fuck up, Dr. P. Now that was out of girl bye. She said, you asking him, okay, so we're gonna go ahead on and talk. So her and Dr. Calvin sit down with him. They, they tell her, look, we're gonna go ahead on and do the work for you, try to get your man back. He always got to be diva queen style, sassy, and coming late. With that big backpack. I really believe everything he got on his fucking back. Like Emem said, he came with the bare minimum. And he went it on his back like a vagabond that I believe that he is. When anytime he would uproot his whole fucking life. Emem talked about him having them sitting at a restaurant and having a discussion. And this mother, while she was talking to him about their relationships and asking him for baby pictures of him growing up, he said he told his mother to throw it away. I told y'all last week that he got mommy issues. He got mommy issues deep enough to swim in, bitch. I told y'all he did not like his mama. I told y'all that was my opinion. Didn't I tell y'all? I told y'all. What man, what human being wants their baby pictures to be destroyed by their mama and by the hands of his mama? Just throw this out. He got mama woman issues. He's different with Dr. Pia than he is with Dr. Calvin. He is sorry bitch. He's sassy. He's broken. Emem comes from a family where the man leads. She said in her vows that she wanted a nurturer. Fuck out of here. Dr. Calvin said, she said, I'm just trying to come into this with an open mind and an open heart and listening. Dr. Calvin says, so let's just reset and figure out where the challenges are. And let's find out if we can sort of rediscover and value and see where that takes us. Because if value is compromised, then the next thing that follows is disrespect. They're already there. And then from that, it's downhill. It's downhill with Dr. Calvin. Why are y'all saving it? I think there needs to be an escape clause in their contract. I don't think they need to make these people stay in these marriages. They say, all right, I want to come out, regardless of what happens, we want to come out of this with some sort of mutual respect, mutual admiration, and some kind of vision for where you're going. And I just want to ask for full transparency and honesty, because it sounds like there's a lot that's not being spoken. You're science and he's art. Get the fuck out of here. She asking him for cheat codes. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out, why do you have such different perspectives of the same reality? When did the conflict start? Emem says, at the house, he called me aggressive. He said her cousin asked me to give her like 5 words that described her, and to me, it described her to be, and aggressive was one of them. But it wasn't until we sat in front of Dr. Pierre that you stated that you feel like I make unwanted sexual advances. What does that mean to you? How did you translate that you're doing too? He said that you're doing too much. Like, back the fuck up. So she was correcting her perception that just wasn't comfortable having sex. But yet, okay, I didn't want to heighten this situation. And then, like, whatever happens in the end it doesn't work. So I was really trying to protect the sanctity of the relationship. They said, did you share that with her? He said, no, okay. They said, so what I'm hearing is that there was an assumption that Emem needed, and there wasn't a check in her about what she might need. Say that's fair. First of all, when the motherfucker sat down and Dr. Calvin said, how you doing? I'm all right. You bottom line, MM is not getting anything because they put it all on MM. This all of this is MM's job to fix. So what MM did was walk herself into fixing her marriage, not them. Then they had the audacity to tell her. They asked him, was he willing to work on it? He's saying, I guess. I guess. Why would I want to be with somebody who got a guess about whether or not, bitch? I guess. He didn't apologize. He didn't try to make atonement. He wasn't remorseful. And she walked in that bitch and said if he don't make an effort, he never made an effort. He says what he thinks people want to say. And when he slip up and he can't meet them at their expectation, he feels small. But LM is acting extremely desperate. Now, I know some of y'all may say, Auntie, I don't think your assessment is fair. And you know what? That's fair because we all have our way of thinking. I don't want y'all to think that I need y'all to agree with me. I'm telling you from what I'm seeing, from me sitting up there transcribing this, that I see a desperate woman who doesn't know how to take no, who doesn't know how to deal with rejection. And she thinks that staying in here is honorable. While this man steady tears her down and makes no apologies whatsoever for the shit. None. And she was expecting an apology and she walked out of there with none and sat there and asked this motherfucker to move back in with her. She's wearing the pants in the relationship. Absolutely. You talk about Dr. Calvin had the audacity to talk about 18 seasons. And how is that going? What's your success rate, Dr. Calvin? Since you want to fucking talk about 18 seasons. Hey there, Olivia. Thank you, Boo, for the $5 super chat. He never made an effort. Say it again, Auntie. Say it again. The steady tearing down, tearing down is concerning. Absolutely. Thank you, Miss Olivia. He said, I just want to be heard. I want her to ask me how my day going. Bitch, she can't ask you nothing, remember? She's supposed to just take you the way you are. He's basically making this about sex. Me rejecting her. Ikechi, here's why you're a failure at this. You wrote a book. You read a poem. And you never promised her anything. Emem, let me tell you why you wrong. Because you know when you looked at those vows and you asked him that question, do you still feel the same way? That you were being passive aggressive because you knew those things said nothing. Since the wedding day, that was the first day you got an opportunity as an educated woman to sit and assess it the same way I did. He didn't promise me nothing. You know it. And here's the crime in it. Because when you know to do better and you don't do better, that makes you stupid, in my opinion. You know Ikechi never promised you nothing. And you want to sit there and say, he's my husband. So you want to look like you fighting for this marriage. Because neither one of us wants to be the first to say, neither one of us wants to be the first to say, neither one of us wants to be the first to say, farewell, my love, goodbye. Walk away from this damn relationship. You are giving away everything for a man that after he agreed to stay with you said the following. Bitch, let me find it. Let me find it. He said this. Dr. Pierce said, I don't think it'll work if y'all don't move back together. Will you move back in with me? He said, okay. After he said it, he said, I'll be completely lying to you to say that I'm excited to move back, but I'm willing. Bitch, what? I'm willing in order to take steps to have quality time. And I just want the ability to bind and to build at the same time. I'm not going to lie. I'm leery than a mother. I'm leaving on that midnight train to Georgia. Uh-huh. She said, I would rather live in his world than to live without him in mine. Fuck that. Now I like Gladys and everything, but honey, I'm gone. And I ain't going to no midnight train to Georgia to go see him because I'd rather be in his world. I'd rather that motherfucker kiss my ass before I go back to him or I have him come living with me. When he turned his ass around behind her back and everybody else's back and said, I ain't happy about this. She's looking like a fool. She's looking like a fool. Thank you, Olivia, for the $10 super chat. She said, sing. All right, boo. Thank you, Miss Olivia. I'm gone. It shows desperation. This. And at the end, they say, time will tell. They already know this is a disastrous idea. Disastrous. Y'all let me know downtown in the comment section what y'all think about this. We are an hour into this. I appreciate you all for being here. There are currently over 1,000 of you in the chat. And I appreciate you being respectful and being listening. Let me tell you something. At the end of the day, these are my opinions. They're always subject to change. They now may not be actual, they may not be factual, but they mine. Y'all let me know what y'all think. It is so important that I see what y'all think. Downtown in the chat and in the replay. I am so curious to see am I on point or off point. Because one thing about it in them comment sections, y'all be honest as I don't know with Auntie. And I welcome your comments. I welcome your feedback. Thank you so much to Sugar 48, Miss Benz, Ashley J, SE21, and Olivia for the super chats. Y'all don't have to do them, but you do. You know that your super chat money, in case you don't know, your super chat money goes back into the channel. The money for super chats I give out to your cousins who are in need. And a lot of people have needs indeed. I thank you all again so much for being here. And don't forget to let me know down in the replay section what you think. Why I'm questioning Emem. I think Ikechi is the worst individual that has ever been on Married at First Sight. But I'm telling you right now, I got the side eye on Emem. Just based on some things that she said and how she's moving. But I want you all to decide. Am I right or am I wrong? Love y'all. And until we meet again, y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water. Bye, y'all.